Hello and welcome to yet another thought-provoking episode of Mind the Gap. A unique podcast by Whitefield Global School that brings together two vital voices of our school community, our parents and our dear beloved students on either side of the table. I am your host and moderator, Dr. Sita Shankar. In today's discussion, we delve into a very personal yet universal topic: who decides what's on the plate? In this discussion on nutrition, we explore the evolving dynamics of food choices. Are the parents the decision makers? Do children have a choice? And how do cultural, emotional, and health factors influence what is served and what is eaten? So come join us today as we unbox the mealtime discussions and decisions that are taken to make our food choices more healthy. And we bring together two different perspectives, one from the parent and the other from the student, who bring onto the table the difference between intent and choice. We begin by warmly welcoming our esteemed panelists. We have with us our dear parents. Let me begin by introducing Mr. Sudhir, who is a solutions architect with Mercedes-Benz R&D India. He's also an avid sports enthusiast. Joining us, we have Dr. Kanupriya Sharma, who is a dentist by profession. She's also a passionate artist and an athlete. And we have Ms. Swati Nair, who dons several hats as a Bharatanatyam dancer, a chartered accountant, an educator, and a fitness enthusiast. And last but not the least, Dr. Raushni Chatterjee, who is a very renowned nutritionist. She has published many journals, in international journals on nutrition science. So welcome, dear parents, to this show. And on my left, our beloved students. Joining me, I have Aarti from grade 10, Nandan from grade 7, Ankita from grade 10, and Aradhya Dev from grade 7 as well. So let's delve into this very interesting topic today. We'll start with our parents. Ms. Swati, what defines the food choices that you make for your family? How do you decide what is the right food that you would want to kind of explore for your family?
So for my family, the first thing that comes to my mind is food is also a time to bond. And my family members should love the food that we eat. So it is definitely important that they enjoy the meal, but at the same time, it is important to include the nutritional fact in the food that I prepare for my family. So as adults, of course, we have the nutritional wisdom, but when it comes to children of any age, like I'm a mother of a 6-year-old, but even adolescents, even children of growing age, they, let's face it, they're not born with nutritional wisdom. It has to be inculcated in them, and we are all actually very taste-driven. We do not look at whether we want to eat a particular dish because it is nutritional. We want to eat it because it tastes good. And that cannot be the analogy that we go by for everyday food. So it's important that 5 days a week, at least, we eat food that our body needs to grow, to repair itself, and also we need to eat responsibly. But definitely, if this could get mundane and boring, we should have one cheat day as a family where we could probably have this food outside. We could order in.
Thank you so much. And I really like what you're saying, that when we look at nutritional choices, students may not be in a position to make the right decisions. Maybe they may not be aware of what is the nutritional value of the food that they are consuming. So that's where a parent steps in and says that this is what you need to eat for your growth and development. So let me we get in another voice from the student side? Aarti, how much say do you get personally when it comes to mealtime?
Yes, ma'am. So thank you for the question, and I totally agree with Swati ma'am. What she said that yes, we are not born with the knowledge of what we eat. However, like Benjamin Franklin once said, "Tell me, I forget it. Teach me, I may remember it. But involve me, then I will learn it." So I believe that children should be included in the choice of what should be on their plate. I agree, and it's a fact that food plays a crucial role in our life, especially childhood, which is the building stage. But over control by extra control by the parents can also be counterproductive. Child psychology has proven that when you say no to a child of eating a particular kind of food, they are tempted to have that forbidden treasure like junk food. So if you involve us, we will learn like why should we have this food. It increases our critical thinking skills, and in the long term, we'll be able to make good decisions for our body, which includes healthy food.
Wonderful thoughts that you have. Involve me, and then we can make a decision together. That's a very, very practical thought, all right? But I would like to bring Mr. Sudhir in here. And how practical do you think it is on the other side of the coin? As practical as it for the student to say that we want to be involved. But in everyday life, when things get very busy and hectic for us, involving a child to make a nutritional decision, especially during meal times, because we are all in a hurry to pack boxes, to take their opinion and then to implement their opinion, or to cook what they suggest. How practical is it? How feasible is it for a parent?
As you know, the way we are going towards the future and how busy we are in our day-to-day activities, and you also brought a right point. We have a culture driven. We came from a very good culture, and where we were exposed to very less to the lesser cities, and kind of where there is no connect to the Western world. But now, today, it's become very challenging for us to sit and discuss with a kid in every day, my child, and say that this is what the better for you, this is not good for you. So it's kind of a day where we have to sit together as a parent with our kids, and we have to take a cautious discussion on the meal itself, where they can get involved, like what we say, like which is good, which is bad. And it also depends on the pattern how we say. Now, when we try to feed in more of the information, it's not going to be very successful. It's always going to be a fire back to us, because they have boundaries, they have their limitations, and they have their own choices. Because when we grow with our own choices, either by seeing our parents or by seeing the environment, ecosystem.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sudhir. And I really resonate with the point you said about culture and family systems, and how cuisine is a very important part of our culture. So wherever we come from, our culture flows through music, dance, our language, and most importantly, what we consume, the food we eat. So I'll speak to the next generation of students over here. So I'll bring in Nandan.
Where in school we see our friends eating so many types of food, and when we go outside or play with our friends, we learn new languages and like that. So we say India is a diverse country because of the new foods we eat, new traditions we see, and new music we sing and dance and all. So through this diversity, and with this we can implement it in our food, where our parents, whichever food they can give, we can ask them to change it. Like a staple food of Karnataka is ragi. They make a lot of items with ragi, like ragi mudde, ragi ganji, and so and so. With that, if our parents make a food and we are getting bored a lot, we can ask them to make some changes which can be better for the parents and better for the child, which can be both supporting. As my father said, a win-win between the parent and the child.
Wonderful idea that you gave us about family bonding Nandan. You also spoke about how, there's a culture that you're exposed to when you come to school, right? You see children bringing food from different parts of the country, and then when you look at what they are eating, it's a very, very normal thing to feel that you want to eat something different too, right? But while the previous generation, that is, the generation X, when we were growing up, things were slightly different, and the way we have consumed food was completely different. So any thoughts on that generational gap where the students are requesting for some kind of variety, but as parents we have certain, probably not restrictions, but certain ways to deal with this kind of a variety that is being served. So I would like to bring in Dr. Kanupriya into this conversation. How do you think we can bridge this gap where a variety is also served, but we are looking at nutrition as well?
My mother used to say, it's a Sanskrit saying, Laliyet Panchvarshani, 10 Varshani Tadiyet, Prapte Shodashe Varshe, Putram Mitram Samacharet. So it means that for the first 5 years, we need to express our love, no scoldings to the kids. The next 10 years are to teach them discipline. And once your child reaches 16, it's time to make them friends. So we are at the generation where we understand our parents' expectations and fears, and also their struggle for freedom. So we are open to learning. We understand what you want to say, but you also have to understand that we have created you. We understand what your body needs. In Ayurveda, we say we have Vat, Pitta and Kapha. So we know what your body actually needs. We will give you nutritional alternate choices, but the overall in charge of the balance and planning, it's us.
Thank you so much for that thought and for that very clear expression of what you think that, parents are the decision makers when it comes to food and cuisine, because they are the ones who take time and cook for the students. And also to bring in that point that Nandan was saying, that you make ragi mudde in Karnataka, and then why don't we use something with ragi to make a continental food? But again, we don't know whether one food will blend with the other food, whether it is good for our body. Nowadays, with so many scientific science awareness that's come up, health awareness that's come up between foods that do not go well, foods you should not eat together. This kind of awareness has now brought parents to a place where every food that we cook, we always want to stick to the most comfortable and the most nutritional choice for our children, right? So, Ankita, so how important do you think is to blend nutrition with variety, and how often do you get it at home?
So we believe that eating food responsibly is a life skill. Just like we are taught stranger danger at a young age or to respect our elders, we as young children should also be taught to make responsible food choices. Now, food is something that we take enjoyment out of, which means there is a very common misconception in most households for kids and adults that green food, healthy foods are disgusting. When I see spinach on the table, I don't want to eat it. But this is not true, because when we see green foods, there's a mindset put in our head that it is a task. It is something that we are obligated to finish, to eat the green food. But the truth is, lettuce is tasty, spinach is tasty, cabbage is tasty. So instead of thinking of putting a conception in the child that this food is healthy and so it will taste bad, and this food tastes really, really good, that means it is unhealthy for you. This is a misconception that shouldn't be included in the child's mind. So from a young age, we should be taught that healthy food can also offer variety. For example, when we come home from school, and I think, ma'am, you were saying the other day about how you would give your child sundal every day, a different type of salad. Now, instead of offering salad to the child every day, one day if we put it inside a chapati and give it as a roll, or one day we put bread next to it, or we add a different element of flavor. For example, we put a little bit more lemon, make it sour. When we combine this nutritional value with variety, which is offering a freedom of choice for the child, to both enjoy the food and learn that nutritional food can also be tasty and look forward to it, then this will also be sustainable in the long term for the child.
Wonderful thoughts, and very, very poignant thought that you brought in, that taste, that factor of taste that comes to food, and how it is an expectation that every food that we eat has to be tasty. And like she said, lettuce can be tasty, spinach can be tasty, but when we compare it with packaged foods where additives are added to make it more tasty, right? And you have already tasted something like potato wafers, or you have tasted something like instant noodles, which have taste makers in it. They have a lot of additives, and it is more tastier than your regular spinach or lettuce. Would the child go back and ask for spinach, or would the child ask the parent to make instant noodles every day? I want to bring in nutritionist Dr. Roshni's perspective into this conversation.
Thank you, ma'am. That's a good insight what Ankita has put forward. Nutrition is not a one-size-fits-all plan. So there are a lot of things which comes in it, through with it. So when we are eating our food, nutrition is just not eating food. What happens to us when the moment, nutrition is a holistic thing, that what happens when we eat the food till the point it is utilized in my body. Definitely taste is a very important part, where when we have something which is taste in front of me, definitely I will finish the plate. That means that taste is, it's intriguing me that to have that thing. So if the nutritional point of view is considered and the taste is considered, that should go hand in hand. So when it comes to the convenience food which we have these days, where people are more prone to have pre-packaged food or ready to eat, ready to cook foods, which we term as convenience food, there it is easy to prepare. And children also will like that because it is tasty. But the thing is that, are we losing on the point of the nutritional point of view? That is, when they are putting some pre-cooked item or which is just ready to eat, there is a preservative which is there, which is added there. The tastemakers will have huge amount of salt in it. To inculcate that taste, they will use some chemicals, some preservatives, which we don't know how it is going to have its effect on my body. So food is the fuel which we are eating, which we are putting in our body to drive us. And not just today. Whatever we are putting in our body now, it is going to resonate 20 years, 10 years after. So what we are eating today, that is going to shape our future. It's a long-term plan. It's a life insurance for us. It's a life insurance policy. How we are eating today will shape our future. Nowadays, we see a lot of chronic disorders which are coming up. The rate of cancer, the rate of people having diabetes, that has increased to a great extent. Why is that so? If we think of a diet which a diabetic should have, it's nothing. It's a diet, it's a healthy diet which everyone should have. There should not be a stigma that, oh, you are diabetic, that means so many things should be cut off from your diet. It's not like that. It's a healthy diet which everyone can have. So a little bit of lifestyle modification, moderation, and balance. We should keep in mind what are the different things which we see around. We don't have to eat gourmet food. It should be local food, seasonal food, which we can easily get from everywhere. We don't have to have kiwi to have vitamin C. We can just have one guava, which is very easily available. Amla, just have it with little salt, it is going to do the magic. And we should have certain insights that if we are having a food, what kind of food will have a amplifying effect. For example, I will tell, we see that children or adolescent and the young women are very prone to have anemia. Their hemoglobin level will usually be little less, below 10. Now that is due to various reasons. And also we have to see that how we can include something in our diet which is going to amplify our food choices, and also it will amplify our nutritional aspect. For example, iron is something which we need as a supplement for combating anemia. Now, how we can amplify that? If we add a little bit of lemon to that, a little bit of vitamin C with iron, that will increase the absorption of iron, which is going to help in the increased availability of iron. So, as I said earlier, nutrition is about utilization of the food, what we are eating. So, balanced diet, moderation, little bit cheat days in between will have a holistic aspect which will include nutritional and the likes and the dislikes. Thank you so much.
I like the point that you brought in, and I concur with it when you say that the additives that are going into the food these days, especially the packaged food, the processed food that we eat, have a tremendous impact on our health. There is so much of external influence on children these days that we didn't have while growing up, when it comes to media, when it comes to friends who bring in food from different parts of the world, not to say the country, all right, which may be packed, which is preserved, and then the taste factor comes in there. So, Aradhya Dev, I want to ask you this question: how much of an influence do your peer group make in your food choices?
So, first of all, I would say that my peer group has a very huge influence on what I eat, because my peer group, now we have like things which you did not have back in the day. Like, we have social media, we have friends, we have external influence, and now because of that external influence, we are inclined, we are pushed to have the food which they are having. Now, about the preservatives. The preservatives are added to make the food more tastier. Now, I understand that the preservatives might be harmful for us, but there are many other ways we can make food taste more. Make food taste better. Now, for example, we can add lemon juice, we can add vitamin C, we can add more iron into our diet. Now, like if we take any food like spinach, cabbage or lettuce, we might feel like, no, I don't want to eat this. And then we feel like that, oh, look what my friends are having, I also want to have that. So we get that feeling, we get that external influence which inclines us to have that food.
So, very honest opinion of how we all are influenced. I just don't want to kind of categorize only the students getting influenced. I think all of us get influenced by when we see, I mean, you open any, any platform like YouTube or Instagram or wherever you are on social media, the only thing you see is different recipes of food across the world and how you can make them and how you can, but again there we do not consider the factor whether it is feasible for ourselves, for our family, for our climate, all right? Because I see a lot of children using a lot of cheese in their food. Because what I read is that cheese is usually used in the Western countries and up north because you require that kind of warmth when it is very cold. But South India or southern near the equators, people don't eat that kind of that amount of cheese. But now because of the influence that we see, a lot of them, the diaspora, people moving across countries, cheese is added in almost everything, right? So the kind of food we get is not as authentic as it used to be. So what do you think, Dr. Kanupriya, could be the impact on the health of a person when we are trying to do this fusion, right? When we are saying that, oh no, we'll take something healthy and make it little more tastier, we will add something else to it, and then we make something and feed our children, because that one point comes, at least they are eating vegetables. At least along with the cheese and the processed sauce, I'm at least feeding them vegetables, right? But we are not looking into the processed food which is going along with the vegetable, right? What is your point of view on that?
As we say that pehla sukh nirogi kaya. So we understand the importance of good health. So I think being the parent, we also have to consider the different varieties of things coming, but we should be intelligent more than kids, I believe, to understand that these are the seasonal things coming, and adding flavors to it. We have to add flavors because kids prefer taste, so we want them to eat. So we will add some taste that too with local spices also we can do, because that is not only healthier but also it has medicinal values. Cinnamon, it is anti-inflammatory. Tulsi, it is antipyretic. So we can do a lot of things, also cure them, build their immune system, so that they are very stronger, responsible, and balanced individuals, and they are able to achieve their things. So most important thing is health, and it is our responsibility to take care of their health.
For a child, so when there are birthday parties or when they go out with parents and when they go to a buffet, the first thing they pick or they go is to the dessert section to see what is there for desserts. So Aarti, how important is having desserts and having sweet with every meal?
So like another question you told, peer pressure. So this also involves in when we go to birthday parties, like when we see kids eating unhealthy food. We are of course like inclined towards eating that because usually at home parents quite prevent us to do it. So that birthday party we can consider it as one of the cheat days. We can eat sugar and including diversity in our food need not always be a disadvantage. For example, we had a CCA recently, an activity conducted by our school, Global Twist with like cultural food we have. So one such activity me and my group once made was ragi. We used ragi and combined it with an American cuisine, a smoothie bowl. So we added honey instead of sugar and made it into like a delicacy. So when we were showing like offering it to other students, they actually liked it. Ragi is often looked at bad, like they don't like it, it tastes quite bland or something. But when we added a little twist, like we added honey into it and bananas, they loved it. And that is why I believe that diversity should be included so that we as students or children don't feel bored.
As adults, we know that the taste comes through certain ingredients which make it more palatable. For example, we talk about adding honey or sugar to food. And now there is a research which says that sugar is the most addictive substance on earth, you know, and it's more addictive than drugs. Getting out of sugar is very, very difficult. So how do you balance that as a parent? Because there are times when the child comes back home and says that I won an award or I won that. Where is my treat? Let's go out. Let's have a party. And the first thing they order is a cake or an ice cream. That is their treat, right? So we always measure, we always award our children with food. So what kind of a practice is that, and is that a good practice? I would like to bring in Swati here.
So I would say this has become a practice, whether we can term it good or not. We definitely associate celebrations with sweets. That is when we need to make an informed choice, not only for ourselves, but also we need to inform our children as well that definitely we all have a sweet tooth, but the indulgence should be limited. It cannot be that today you went for a birthday party, tomorrow you have won something in school, and 4 days in a row we are having back-to-back sweets. And of course, during celebrations like Diwali, we cannot forbid our guests from bringing sweets. We ourselves go and gift them sweets. But maybe we can change this trend wherein we could substitute it with something that our friends or family would prefer over sweets. For example, you're getting an older set of people a hamper of sweets, very well knowing that probably they are diabetic or probably they shouldn't be indulging in so many sweets. So I think we are making a wrong choice there.
That's a unique perspective, that when we go and visit others, why do we always carry sweets and go? You know, we need to look at taking fruits or probably something very healthy, right? So as an educator, I'm thinking now, and I'll ask Ankita over here. Ankita, we usually in school, when there are birthday parties, we allow students to get a box of sweets and distribute among their friends. Would you be appreciative if your friends would give fruits for their birthday, for the entire class? Say an apple or a guava. would it go not only with you personally, but with the entire student community if the school makes a decision of encouraging students to distribute fruits instead of sweets?
Ma'am, so I think we've talked a lot about how we need variety on our food palette. So the same way, it's when a student is celebrating their birthday, which happens once a year, we are distributing chocolates. That is also something which it doesn't come very often. And when they distribute the chocolates as well, we do 1 per student, or at max maybe 2 per students. So I believe as a student, definitely for me, I would prefer if my friend would give me a chocolate over a fruit. At the same time, we need to remember that this sugar, this small candy that we are eating, when I eat this chocolate, I remember that when I go home, I will balance that with something healthy. I will tell my mom it was my friend's birthday today, or when we're having a birthday party and we know that we are going to be presented with options that are unhealthy and it's not something that I can consume or should consume on a daily basis. So I would say that we would prefer chocolates over fruits or vegetables, as healthy as it is, but at the same time, again, it is not a sustainable lifestyle to live on that. So when we do consume it, we balance it at the same time with something healthy. For example, when we get a tasty ragi dish for lunch during the lunch break, or when we go home and we eat a salad or a fruit salad or vegetable salad, I think it justifies rewarding ourselves from time to time with foods like this.
She will not appreciate if her friends give fruit on birthdays, and she definitely wants to have that 1 chocolate. But then you have 30 students in a class and you will have somebody's birthday and different sections, so somebody's birthday every day, so you end up eating 1 chocolate probably every day in school. Mr. Sudhir, as a parent, what do you think about this perspective of asking students to share healthy food?
It's a very eye-opener for all of us. I just go 6 years back when I was in Pune, and one of my child was in Pune studying in a school. There was a culture of celebrating a birthday of a kid not bringing a chocolates. It was, instead of that, they allowed to bring a jaggery which is added in a sweet, a kind of a sweet. We can call it as a, you have a lot of this chicky, which is groundnut and jaggery. And you have many other sweets which are made up of jaggery. So they enforce the kids to bring not chocolates, but instead of that, bring something which is made of jaggery, which is a sweet, right? So this is what they have told us. They made it as a mandate. I do believe that we can take a step ahead where we can promote, rather than celebrating the birthday, instead of bringing some sweets or chocolates which is made up of high sugar, can we also suggest something which can be brought by made up of jaggery, homemade, right? So in my opinion, it's a very tough decision or a tough task, but one step can give a good result over the future.
Aradhya, how would you plan, according to you, it's your opinion, I want to know, what would you like to eat in a day? Just give me one meal. What would be your favorite meal?
So my favorite meal, so it's not always like, I understand that parents care about our body. I understand that they want us to eat nutritional food, but sometimes we might want to have a change, or we might want to have cheat days, like one of my friends said. So I would, so my diet would be tasty and it also would be balanced. So my diet would include most of the nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Also then I would add some more tasty food, and I would sometimes modify the food, because India is a diverse country. Like every state you go, there are like 10 different types of food. So I would like to modify the foods and I would turn them into a taste which is appealing for my taste buds. So like for my meal, I would like to have chapati. I would like to have dal because that is very simple, I like it. And I would also like to have some proteins. And for proteins, I would like to have pulses and grams. But I would also like to have a change. Like for dessert, I would have cake. Or I would have something which is appealing to my taste. or sometimes once in a while I might also have a burger. So I have a mixed opinion, and I also want like to balance my diet, and I want something that is appealing for my taste.
Balanced ideology also, like your balanced plate that you have just discussed. I want to bring in Dr. Roshni as a nutritionist into this. How balanced is a meal of chapati, dal, a dessert, or a burger for a child of a growing child? What would you suggest as alternatives for these, keeping taste and the popular opinion in mind?
Definitely, chapati and dal is a complementary food to each other, because chapati is the something which we have, which has a lot of carbohydrates in them, and dal at the same time will have the proteins. So when it comes to carbohydrate and protein, two things of my vital nutrients has been covered. And also we can have a change one day, that because chapati and dal will be little bit monotonous if we have it every day. So we can bring in khichdi in that perspective. So khichdi will also have the same supplements, where there are certain things which are limiting in rice, which we can complement with dals. So rice and dal is a complementary diet. That is why we can add that. And burgers and cakes, something, however we say it's unhealthy, we are also keen towards it. When it comes to a burger and an apple, it becomes little difficult. Being a nutritionist also, I might think that, okay, I have to think, that thought process will always come in my mind, that tongue will come first, then my brain. So that I might also get intrigued by that. I'm knowing it will come like a flash that, oh, these are the nutritional requirements, these are the nutritional aspects of the apple and a burger, but still my tongue will overpower my brain. So in that case, definitely we have to think of an alternative where we can get the taste of a burger, but we can change the bad effects of it, that change the nutritional aspect, so that it becomes, we can get the taste of it, yet we can have it in a better way. For example, we can have a roll which is made up of a multi-grain bread, or we can mix the cereals and make a dough out of it. So that is going to have a multi-grain bread, and at the same time we can have all the mixed veggies, and mixed veggies with including paneer also, corn also. Corn is something which children definitely like. That becomes the patty of the burger. Like that we can supplement with we can change it in and put it in like a wrap, and that is going to be appealing to the child, and also it is going to be easy to eat, because sometimes what I feel is that when they are in school, they are in a hurry. They have to finish on time so that they can indulge the last 10-15 minutes meeting their friends or finishing up some work. So if the food is handy and if they can finish it at a very short span of time, then the nutritional aspect will be covered. At the same time, we can say that, yes, my child will bring back the box empty. And also I would like to bring in one more point, what Dr. Kanupriya said about the food and their medicinal aspect. Nowadays we are all coming to the term called nutraceuticals, where nutrition and pharmaceuticals are coming together. Nutrition as a therapy, nutrition as a medicine. So there are certain items which are there in the food, which are the hidden components, which once exposed, that is going to have an amplified value. A very simple example is a the sprouts which we have.
Thank you so much for your perspective, Dr. Roshni. Actually, you have given us so much information about how we can make small changes to make our plates much better and also, tastier. And on that note, I think I would like to go on to ask a concluding statement from all of you all. Let's start from Aradhya Dev. According to you, who chooses what's on the plate?
According to my opinion, I agree that the parents know better about the nutrition and they have more wisdom about the nutrition. But now I would like to choose what's on my plate, because I know what is appealing. I know what is appealing to me, and I know what is nutritious. Also, now we have been learning about nutrition in our school for about 3 to 4 years now. So now we are educated enough to understand what is good for us and what is not.
Ankita, who chooses what's on the plate?
I think the most important thing that we as children are trying to say right now is we would like the freedom of choice. So this means at the beginning of the week, when the parents are sitting down and planning, Monday for dinner we will have this, Tuesday for dinner we will have this, we need to include other children, which is us, as well in that discussion. So when we give that choice to the students, where I say, I would like this palak paneer on Monday, or I would like this curry, whether it is healthy or it is comparatively lesser in nutritional value. For example, if we're eating pasta, we like to say that we should have a colorful plate, which will have capsicum, it will have broccoli, all those sorts of things. So when you include the child in the decision of planning the menu for the week, when you take the child grocery shopping with you, show them what options you have, then not only will the child be excited for what is ahead, but again, in the long term, they will understand what foods they need to take and what decisions they need to take in order to create a healthy food plate.
So if I had a choice to choose something which was in my, which should be on my plate, I would decide on going with my perspective, because we have reached the adolescence or the puberty point of view where we have the maturity to choose what should be on our plate.
Aarti?
Yes, ma'am. So like my friends have mentioned, I believe right now that the making of the plate should be a decision made by children as well as parents. The reason why often like arguments happen between children and parents, like dislikes, boring, it can be done by communication involving the children, like Ankita stated, making a meal plan, or taking grocery shopping, helping, like teaching them how to cook. So that will help them know, okay, these are the ingredients going into the dish. That is how it's going to help me. Since we are in a library, we can take multiple stories also into account, like one of my favorites, Goldilocks and Three Bears. When Goldilocks steps into the house, she sees three bowls, one of the father's, the mother's and the child. One she says it's too hot, the other she says it's too cold, and the other one is just right. So I believe that parents should give us the freedom to explore our choices and make meal times enjoyable and not like an exam, not only about nutrients, but it also helps us to become emotionally independent, and in a long run, we'll be able to implement what we have learned in our childhood into our real life and probably teach others as well.
So in my opinion, so it's both of collaboration rather than discussion, right?
What should be on the plate? I believe it's a shared journey. Food helps you to understand the life skills also. When you get involved with your parents in the kitchen, I believe maths you can learn from measuring. A lot of things you can learn when you are in the kitchen. Science, it teaches you mixing, and creativity you can learn by plating. So once a day, help your parents to roll the chapatis. It will teach you patience and precision. So being the parent, I would say that alternate nutritional choices and consistency is our responsibility. We are ready to take in your curiosity, your voice and awareness. And believe me, in long term, it will help you to make rightful choices. And the day you make it, you learn it, we'll be the happiest audience of your match. Thank you.
I would like to conclude by making the point that the idea is not that the parent is trying to advocate autonomy over the child, over his food choices. And we are not here to question your independence on your choice of food either. We are only guiding you to make informed choices for yourself. And if a child is able to do this at the age of 8, why not? Make your food choice. And if at the age of 16, I am indulging in junk and I'm not able to make out the difference between the healthy and the unhealthy food on a long-term basis, then it is time that the parent intervenes. Because then it becomes the responsibility of the parent, and he or she is duty-bound to intervene and advise the child about the healthy food choices.
It's more about co-deciding, not just who decides. So discussion, openness, bringing children to the grocery shopping, deciding on the meal plan, all these things will definitely bring a conclusion that, okay, this is the nutritional point of view and this is what I like. So that is going to definitely bridge the gap, and parents and students, children can come to a common standpoint. Definitely moderation is the key. Balance is something which we have to maintain, which will ensure nutritional point of view and also all the other aspects which we want to include, like taste and other aspects.
And with that, we come to an end of another exciting and interesting episode of Mind the Gap. So, in Whitefield Global School, like Buddha said, we believe always take the middle path. So balance is achieved only when we keep moving, and we have to move with the growing generations. And when they say that they need choice, we give them choice, but with caution, by guiding them with guidance and with support. It is time for us as educators and parents, it's time for us to hear what they are saying, and voices need to be heard, whether it is about nutrition, whether it is about choice, or whether it is about what goes on the plate. So thank you, participants, for this wonderful session on who decides what goes on the plate. We'll be back with the next episode. Until then, mind the gap.